Hey guys! So I know this is kind of a different video than kind of what you'd expect on this channel, but it's something that I really felt like filming, and just because like my identity has changed a lot since I've started this channel with Caitlin. And I feel like it might help just to kind of explain it, and kind of get some stuff out there, just because I feel like I didn't know some of these identities existed until recently, until like just a couple years ago, and so obviously when you're thinking about your identity, and like your sexual, romantic, and gender identity, it's kind of like, it takes a while to really figure out, like, do I really feel this way, or is it just like because I want to feel this way, it's just something that, like, I'm really happy I found out about myself, because I'm like, oh, I feel so much better, like, knowing there's a name for what I feel, like, because for a while I didn't really know that there was, like, a name, especially for my gender identity, I was like, that's a thing, I was not aware, oh my god, I feel like there's been a weight lifted off my shoulders, And so yeah, I just kind of like want to talk with you guys and let you guys know and kind of be really open about this, since this is like a big part of who I am, And so yeah, I'm gonna start off with my romantic and sexual identity because I feel like that's slightly easier to explain. So I identify as demi-bisexual, and in case you didn't watch my last video, demi basically means I don't feel a romantic or sexual attraction to someone until there's been a deep bond formed. So like, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to be interested in you for quite some time, because we got to be friends before anything happens. There has to be that trust, that connection, And a lot of people think, oh, well, everyone's like that, but it's not that I'm withholding from romantic or sexual attraction until until like there's an emotional connection. It's just, I literally do not feel anything until there is that emotional connection. So I'm not withholding from anything because I literally do not feel anything. And just to make one other point really clear, romantic and sexual identities are two separate things. So you could be bi, romantic, and heterosexual, so it's like romantically you're like open to like all genders, but you only want to have sex with like people of the opposite sex, or are not necessarily opposite gender, because that's a whole nother mess. But like, you don't want to have someone, let's say you're identifying as female, you don't want to have sex with someone who also identifies as female. So yeah, just kind of clearing that up. But for me, it's the same for both romantic and sexual. And basically bisexual, or pan, there's kind of like a very fuzzy line between the two, but it means I'm open to dating all genders. I'm open, I'm not like strictly interested in one specific gender. So I'm really open to kind of that. And, it took me a while to figure that out, because I was kind of like, I just thought everyone had crushes on everyone, like when people said, oh man, she's so attractive, I was like, yeah, no, she's really attractive, I would totally date her. And people like, oh yeah, but it took me a while to be like, oh no, they're not really being super serious, and I'm being very serious right now, And so I didn't really come to terms with that until partway through my freshman year of university. Like, I came to terms with it, but it took me a while to say it out loud to anyone, because I couldn't even process it in my own mind. It's like, oh, I'm not as straight as I thought I was, And so it was a very weird experience. It was a very weird time. And I found out I was demi my senior year of high school. That was a little bit easier to accept, I think, because I wasn't totally changing my sexual and romantic identities. And so it took me a lot longer, and, I've told my very close friends and I've told my mom, and that's about it. But yeah, oh gosh. And then I guess now I want to try and at least explain my gender identity. This is something I just really came to accept the past couple of weeks, and because I think I always kind of knew, but I didn't realize there was a name for it. So my gender identity is agender. It's all clumped together, one word, and it basically also means genderless. I don't identify with any type of gender. So, you know, like, I always kind of didn't feel like a girl, but I didn't feel like a guy either. I was just kind of like, I don't really care, you know? And I just thought that was normal for a lot of people, but apparently it's not, you know? And, like, I was kind of like having different people on Tumblr use kind of like different pronouns for me, you know? And I was like, I honestly don't care, but, you know, like, she, her doesn't like bother me. So it's like, so it doesn't bug me when my family uses those pronouns, because, which is a good thing, because I don't feel like I ever really want to explain to them what it is, because I just feel like it'd be too hard to be like, I don't have a gender, you know? So yeah, but yeah, and it was a weird experience, because I was kind of like, well, no, I'm female, but it was kind of like, well, do I just identify that because it's what I've been told since I was a kid, you know? Like, I was like, oh no, I'm a female throughout my whole entire life, you know? And so it was just, I feel like I just identified as a cis female because that's what I've been my whole life, you know? And I was kind of like, oh no, I honestly really don't care, you know? And I'm just kind of like, I don't really have any strong ties to identifying as female. And so yeah, you know, and it's like, I honestly, it felt so good to be like, okay, you know what, I think I am, you know, because it was definitely took a lot of kind of like exploring, like, well, do I just feel this way because I want to, or have I just identified as a female because I didn't know what else to identify as, you know? And so, yeah, it was a long, confusing road to get to that, you know? And, yeah, I'm really happy I came to it, because I feel like a lot better. I'm like, okay, I have names for what I am, you know? And, I don't know, it's just, there's something so freeing about coming to terms with who you are and what you identify as. And, yeah, yeah, it feels really, really, really good to just be kind of like, okay, you know what, I'm good. And, you know, like, it felt weird at first being like, I'm not what I thought I was, but now that it's all done, I feel so much better. So yeah, I guess that's kind of it for this video. I just kind of wanted to be like, this is who I am, this is what I identify as. And so yeah, and if you guys have any questions about like sexual, romantic, or gender identities, kind of let me know, because I will be able to at least direct you to something if you have any questions, if I don't personally know anything about it. So yeah, I will see you guys next week. Bye!